I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not sold on Sean Brady yet, despite his win over Gilbert Burns at UFC Vegas 97. There's something about him that's not quite there for me when it comes to the elite of the division, be it Belal Muhammad now apparently, or Della Maddalena, or Shavkat Rakhmonov. There's something about him that really kind of, I don't know, it's just something that's missing there. It's like he's chinny, he's not all the way complete, but he's kind of complete. I get it. I get that he's a fun fighter. He's 17-1. He's got the one loss to Belal Muhammad, but that loss keeps ringing in the back of my head. I'm not sold yet on Sean Brady. Period. Point blank. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he has very good skills. I think he's becoming more all-around. I don't think he's all-around yet, but I do think he's becoming a better fighter. And we saw that against Gilbert Burns. We did. Granted, this is an older Gilbert Burns, but some of the things that I saw from Sean Brady didn't bode well for improvement as a fighter. And I'm going to explain that here now. I don't want to wait any longer because I feel like what he showed us against Sean Brady, or against Belal Muhammad, not Sean Brady, what he showed us against Belal Muhammad is exactly the same problems he had with Gilbert Burns. And there's really nothing he can do about being chinny. Burns cracked him with a right, and he was hurt. Belal hurt him too. And if Belal Muhammad's hurting you, Bubba, you got a problem. Now, there are things that contributed to him getting hurt like that, though. It wasn't just, he's chinny and Gilbert Burns is good, because Gilbert Burns showed that I am a little old, guys. I'm a little bit old. So, what happened? What was it that he leaves his jab out there. Now, he has a good jab, but when he gets kind of tired, he jabs, and it's out there to be countered. Now, I didn't go back and rewatch it yet, but I'm willing to bet it's off of that. In that second round when he got hurt, that first exchange, I'm willing to bet it's that where he was hurt because of his bad tendencies. Great wrestling. He used the double jab well, but he tends to leave his punches hanging, his hands drop. And that's how he got hurt against Belal Muhammad, and that's what hurt him against Gilbert Burns. Now, is he ready for the elite of the division? Let's take a look at the elite of the division. So, here I have middleweight rankings pulled up. Would you look at that? I'm prepared. Leon Edwards at the top. I think Leon would do him in. Sad as that is. Leon Edwards is because we're looking at, he's probably going to be ranked, let's see, Gilbert 6. He'll probably take Gilbert Burns' spot, We might see Ian Machado Gary move up to number 6 and him at number 7, which would be hilarious. And Gilbert would go down 2 at least, so him move up 1 in the ranking. So Ian Machado Gary probably beats him. Colby Covington, the volume is what gets to him. And that's why he could beat Gilbert Burns, is because of the volume. And what lost to him against Belal Muhammad, the champion, was the volume. So I still lean Colby Covington on that one. Jack Della Maddalena, ranked here at 4, does him in. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Oh, don't take that fight. Kamaru Usman, I don't know. Leon Edwards does him in. And then Belal, I saw nothing in him to say that he beats Belal Muhammad in a rematch. I don't know, man. There's just something about Sean Brady that he's good, but I don't think he's the best fighter in the division. I don't think he's top 5, to be honest with you. I don't think he beats Shavkat. We just went through it. I think MVP gives him a hard time, and MVP is not even ranked. So, good win for him, though. I thought he looked okay, and, I thought the Gilbert Burns win was great. But the problem with Gilbert Burns is he's old. He's too old now. Gilbert Burns is 38 years old. That's crazy. He's been in the UFC for so long, and we forget about him because he's been there for so long. But Gilbert Burns is old. He's 38. That's ancient. Might as well, when are you going to die? We might as well be asking him because he's so old. And no disrespect to Gilbert Burns. He's one of the best in the division right now. He's not at the top, though. We saw him get done in by Jack Della. We saw him get done in by Khamzat, which is middleweight. And we saw him get done in now by Sean Brady. Shavkat beats him. Leon Edwards probably beats him. Kamaru already beat him. Colby, I mean, he might be able to overwhelm him with volume. Ian Machado, Gary beats him. Stephen Thompson, he beat. So, like, you have to go down to a 9th-ranked fighter to see somebody that was kind of someone that Bilal Muhammad, or not Bilal Muhammad, I'm sorry, I'm looking at him here. Someone that he can handle. I should have pulled the web page up there. So, he's old, though, man. He really is. Actually, let's go look at what he's done in his career because, like, he's been around forever. And you remember a day when Gilbert Burns was calling out Francis Ngannou because he just couldn't get a fight. Yeah, see, look at that. 38 years old, born in 1986. Man, that's ancient. Has lost 3 on the trot to Bilal, the future champion, Jack Della, which is a decent one. He looked okay there. Hurt himself against Bilal, so he was out for that good bit of almost a year. And now the 3rd loss in a row is Sean Brady. Beat Jorge Masvidal. I mean, it wasn't even a fight. Neil Magny, arm triangle in the first round, shows he's still dangerous. But that was all the way back in 23, so it's a year removed from that. But if you go down, you can see that great Stephen Thompson win when Stephen Thompson was having his career resurgence. A bunch of grappling stuff, but his title shot against Kamaru Usman was all the way back in 2021. That's a long time ago. Pandemic days, UFC 258. Where was that held? Let's see. That was at the Apex. So, yeah, that's right in the midst of the pandemic. Before that, he had the Tyron Woodley and Damian Maia win. But, like, look at this. He's beat Konchenko. You got Gunnar Nelson, Mike Davis, and OAM, which has turned out to be a really good win. The Dan Hooker loss is back in his lightweight days. You forget he was there. 2015 ADCC, you see he, lost to Davi Ramos, but he won I believe that was silver. Cowboy Oliveira, Christos Yagos, this is a win, But yeah, Gilbert's been around for a long, long time, man. Look, Kron Gracie, IBJJF win, Thiago Alves. I mean, the dude's legit as it comes, especially on the ground. And he's, one of those fighters that they've gone underappreciated a lot of the time in their career. But at the same time, he also didn't rise to the occasion when he was asked to. Like against Kamaru Usman or against Khamzat Chimaev. That's just 2 big fights that he's been in. So, kind of sucks to see him go out this way. He can still compete against the lower in the division. If you go and look at what Tapology has him ranked at welterweight, and you look at some of the other welterweights that they have, let's see. Let me get the screen up real quick. Let's go back here and look some of the other welterweights. So, yeah, we're going to skip all of these. MVP'd be decent. Michael Morales, Vicente Luque, that's a fun one. Neil Magny, okay. Randy Brown, he can compete with these guys. Rakhmonov, yeah. Nicholas Dalby be one he can compete in. He already beat Chiesa. Carlos Paredes is a dangerous fight. Stay away from that one. Salikov, he's ancient. You can make an old man fight with him. There's plenty of options out there for him, but he's not a top 10 fighter anymore. And it's time to face that fact. But, we'll appreciate Gilbert Burns for the times that he was here. The IBJJF run, the ADCC run, and all that. Now, Natalia Silva? Whoa, that was the highlight of the night for me. She was fantastic. I apologize, Natalia Silva. I was not familiar with your game. I owe you an apology. What a performance. She took on Jessica Andrade. The heavy-hitting women's MMA Isak Cruz, Jessica Andrade, knocking people out with body shots, Jessica Andrade. Yes, that Jessica Andrade. And Natalia Silva had a field day with her. Now, she's a really fun fighter. She's really good, and she's quick. The first thing I noticed with her was her jab. She got the whole ick, she's punching, but it's fast. And I was blown away with A, how she used her jab, and B, how fast it was. And a good jab is the start of everything you want in their type of offense. Andrade's going to come forward at all costs. And we know that. So what Natalia Silva did was like, I've got to figure out a way to deal with this. So what does she do? All right, I'm going to be on the back fence. I'm going to intercept her. Here's the jab. Here's the kick. She just made sure to keep good light footwork, not get caught. Now, Andrade did a decent job cutting the cage off. She was there for her. She wasn't just following her around. But man, did Natalia Silva look good against a legacy opponent and a hard-hitting opponent. Andrade now, she's not the same type of fighter that she used to be. Sure, don't get me wrong. She is not like, oh wow, don't mess with Jessica Andrade. She's not that type of fighter. But what really surprised me here was that the power of Andrade didn't bother Natalia Silva one bit. As a matter of fact, she's like, hey, check this sidekick. There was one moment in the fight, the sidekick. Andrade's pressing her to the fence, and she does the whole Sanda sidekick and knocks her down. Just kicking her in the chest. It wasn't even like, oh, I hurt you or anything like that. Just kicked her in her chest and knocked her down. She had she threw the axe kick. She threw teeps to the face off the back foot. Just everything you could love about a fighter, Natalia Silva did. And you don't expect that from WMMA fighters because, no offense, they're not the most technically fun fighters to watch. You got like Zhang Wei Li, Rose Namajunas, Natalia Silva now. Tatiana Suarez is fun. Yeah, I enjoyed Natalia Silva. I enjoyed a WMMA fight, guys. This is the first time ever. Think about that. It's the first time ever. That's a lie. I liked Nunes Cyborg. I liked the whole Ronda Rousey run. There's other fights out there that I've enjoyed with WMA. I have to think about. Don't have them off the top of my head. I might be lying to you. I don't know. But it was a good fight. And I'm like, wow, Natalia Silva, I was not familiar with your game. Let's go to that card. Let's go to her record because she's like undefeated in the UFC, I believe now. Or if not, she's on a heck of a win streak. I do remember that. So the win over Andrade definitely is her biggest to date. Yes, look at that. 6-0 in the UFC right there. Who has she beat? Jessica Andrade, Viviana Rujao, Andrea Lee, Victoria Leonardo, Teresa Baleda, whatever that is, a spinning back kick. Oh, that was that spinning back kick that she had that I saw in the highlights. Jasmine Jasudavicius, that's her best win. And that's her debut. That was her best one for a while. Jasmine turned out to be pretty good. So did she. But this one over Andrade puts her right in contention. So if we go over here, let's see. What was that? Andrade, that was strawweight right here. So yeah, she'll be ranked top 5. Where was she before? Where was she? Natalia Silva. Where are you? I can't find it. Hold on. Oh, there she is. She was flyweight. That's what it is. Okay. Natalia Silva ranked 8th. Andrade's ranked 6th. So, yeah, she'll be ranked 6th right under, like, Rose Namajunas. Now, that's a fun fight I can get behind. Namajunas versus Natalia Silva. That's super fun. Macy Barber. That's probably the Namajunas fight they're going to get. We're currently stuck with Alexa Grasso and Valentina Shevchenko for one more night, hopefully. But, yeah, there's some really fun fights for Natalia Silva, man. Woo! I was thoroughly impressed. I really was. Last thing I want to talk about is another finish for Steve the Mean Machine Garcia. We talked about him not too long ago because he had a first-round knockout not too long ago. Now he gets another knockout. This one a bit more controversial, but it was still a knockout. Steve Garcia is a fun fighter. He's good. He's, on a really good win streak in the UFC. He come over and he's not a highly touted prospect. He's got a few losses to his record, 17-5. But he takes on a tough Kyle Nelson, and he gets the win. And now, he's not undefeated in the UFC, 6-2, but to violent Bob Ross, Luis Pena, and then Haysayer, he got knocked out with a counter right. But since then, he's beat some good names since he's been here. He's got a win over Shepe Marshall. And if you remember when Shepe last fought, when was that? Hold on. Let's pull up the web browser again, guys, because I'm loving it tonight. Shepe fought, when was that? Damon Jackson. That was that good win over Damon Jackson in August. But he's beat Shepe. He's got some losses early in his career. The Ricky Tercios at Bellator, which is an interesting one. But he has experience in Bellator. His second fight, all the way up to this, this Joe Warren fight was all Bellator. He makes his UFC debut. He wins. Why is that weight cut there? Garcia was above he missed weight, so it's not the first time he did it. Beat Desmond Torres, still got signed. Beat Shepe. I gotta go back and watch that because that seems like a fun fight. That LFA fight. Comes in short notice to beat Luis Pena. Charlie Ontiveros lost to Heiser, whatever. But then he beats Chase Hooper, Nerd and Becky. I don't know who that is. Sungwoo Choi, and then Kyle Nelson. He's good. He's good. And he's a good, fun fighter. You know, I don't know how far he'll go. He might be able to be up for a ranking next. But yeah. What else was on this card? Cody Durden beating Matt Schnell. Now Ashamouz beat Trevor Peak. Kind of sucks. Chris Padilla beat Rong Zhu. Ooh, ugly eye cut. Isaac Dalgarian just beat the brakes off of Brendan Marlott. He shouldn't probably be in the UFC. Andre Lima beat Felipe Dos Santos. Gabriel Santos beat Yiza. Jacqueline Aramian beat Vanessa Demopoulos. Andre Petrosky beat Dylan Budka. And Nathan Fletcher, Nat Fletcher started Ring Magazine. Beat, I'm not trying to say that name at all. But anyways, guys, yeah. Gilbert Burns, he's old. Needs to retire. But he did show us a lot of stuff against fighters like Khamzat Chimaev that, you know, we can use and go with in the future. Khamzat's got a heavily wrestling approach, and it's hard to stop. But he figured it out.